How's it going? Haven't done little snaps in a while. I felt like standing up today. I know, crazy, right? I have these gigantic earrings. They just arrived in the mail today. I think they sound really cool. They've got these little mushrooms and leaves. Oh, I think I might put my hair back because it's really hot. Okay, I've put my hair up because it was really annoying me, and it's quite warm today, so I've also just popped the fan on. Hopefully the noise is like a soothing background noise and not distracting. Speaking of distracting, I am distracted today. I am. But I'm going to try my best, okay? I said, I told you guys that I was going to do a sort of an update video. A very, that sounds very serious, but not serious, just a little chat. Just a little chat. Do you think I can get my brain to focus? I'll get there. You guys. What if I actually tap on something? I have this brush. This also arrived this morning. I did, trying to get it to focus. I did a Shein order and I got this hairbrush. It's got moths. Come on. Moths and mushrooms. You get to see when I'm not sitting down how restless I am. I cannot stand still. I want to pace and walk around. Have I shown you this one? You might not have seen it before. New addition to the family is this big round frog. It's so cute. The hippo down here, as a whale. So the first thing I guess I'll talk about is Tasmania. You might have heard me talking about it before. And how I've wanted to move there for a while. So nothing's exactly happening yet, technically, but they could be very soon, maybe, hopefully. I've started applying for apartments. There's not many at all in my price range, so it's just a slow game, and it's quite stressful. It's really exciting. It's really exciting, but it's just the not knowing, the waiting. I think I've done a lot of waiting this year. I could get accepted somewhere tomorrow and be moving, sort of a month-ish, within a month. Or it could be months before I even hear anything. I just don't know. I want to study next year in Tasmania. I found a course that I really want to do, and it's a fashion and textiles course, but it's not really like a fashion degree. It's more like just like sewing. So it would be learning practical skills, learning how to tailor, how to like take measurements, how to draft up your own patterns, and it's something I really want to learn. So I imagine it'll start probably like late February sometime. So that's really my only time sensitive thing. So I would really like to move in time to enroll and attend classes. So I've got a few months still. Keep your fingers crossed for me, okay? It's everything. It would change so much in my life, and that's what I want, hopefully for the better. It's so important for me to have my own space, and I know in general that that's kind of like a well accepted rule, like people need their space, but like my well-being is so much better when I just have my own space. And I just love Tasmania. I love the nature, the terrain, the countryside. I love the mountains, I love the rainforest, I love the cold and the rain. I love the pacing of the cities. So full of life, but slow and relaxed in its own way. It's definitely a different feel to I was going to say the rest of Australia, but I haven't been everywhere, obviously, but definitely a very different flavour. And I'm so excited to take you with me. And that might sound weird, but it brings me joy, it brings me comfort, it brings me like fulfillment to think that I will continue this journey with you, but in a new place that's my own, that I can explore, that I can share with you, I guess. There's one particular apartment that I'm really waiting for an answer on right now. It's within walking distance to the city. It's got a beautiful view. It's not too expensive. So keep me in mind if you want to send, some well wishes my way when you think of it. I would appreciate it. Okay, I've turned the fan off because I realized it was actually quite overstimulating for me. Try and be gentle. So next month I've got 2 very big events coming up. You know about one of them perhaps, and that is the 21 Pilots concert. I'm gonna go see 21 Pilots in Melbourne, and it's just gonna be so life-changing. I can feel it. I'm so excited. So this is the Clancy tour, and I've been listening to the Clancy album, and it's so good. Which, doesn't surprise me. 21 Pilots is my favorite band, artist. I'm also just wary that it's going to be very taxing on me. As much as I'm excited and I'm willing to go, I know it's going to be a lot. Not so much the concert itself, but the travel, having to take public transport, being out in the city at night, having to stay in an Airbnb, you know, a strange place. It's going to be a lot. So I have to try and make sure I really take care of myself and figure out how I can make it easier. I'm sure you are going to hear all about it afterwards. It's in about a month. I'm sure I'll get lots of pictures. I think I need to change. This is getting a bit much, I think. What have I got in here that I can tap on? I've got this box. The other big event happening next month is that my best friend is getting married. It's not going to be like a ceremony, it's just sort of a formal signing of papers situation, but it's another trip to the city. I'm going to go as one of the witnesses, so it'll just be a very, very small group. And I've also been making my friend's dress, and it's almost finished. It is. I'll get it finished because my ADHD running out of time protocol will kick in. But I've done most of it. It's been stressful. It's been a process of acceptance that it's not perfect and I'm not perfect, and that's okay. My friend is really happy about it, by the way. Like, there's absolutely no pressure from her. She's the best. So it's not a traditional wedding dress. She just wanted something like super beautiful that was like just her dress. Like, yeah, something that really just she loves, I guess. So it's blue, like a very deep blue with a color shift velvet and a like mesh skirt overlay with moons and stars. Very celestial, very moody and mystical, and it's just gorgeous. She looks gorgeous. I will ask her if she minds. I might put a couple of photos to show you, but yeah, I'll ask her about it and we'll see. Can you see what this is? It's tattoo balm. Tattoo balm. It's got this cool moth with a skull. Oh, that worked. smells 100% like bubblegum. I was not ready. Like, it doesn't smell like anything else. It doesn't smell like salve with some bubblegum scent. It just smells like bubblegum, like you could eat it. It's so strong. So I'm gonna have a weird association with bubblegum after this. So yeah, I got a tattoo. You might have seen my post. It might have been a week ago by the time this comes out. Something like that. Today is the first day that I feel like I've was able to make this video. I mean, it hasn't been very long. It's only been a few days. But I've been sort of like recovering. It was a really, really, really hard time, and I just want to talk about it. You know, not go into super depressing detail, and like, I want to just talk about it. Lost my train of thought. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe you do. Oh gosh, bubblegum. I just unscrewed the lid. I've wanted a tattoo for years. Like probably like 6 or 7 years. It's something I've known about myself. That I really, really love tattoos, and I knew I wanted to get some at some point. I just wasn't quite sure what. But I got very inspired about a month ago. It was actually whilst listening to 21 Pilots, while listening to the new album. There's one particular song. It's called Oldie Station. I'll talk about the lyrics in a bit. But I just went, that's it. That's it, that's what I want. I want this quote as a tattoo. And then I went into full hyper focus. I spent hours like researching what picture I wanted to go with it, and I did a little sketch, which is like complete garbage because I'm not a good drawer. And I went ahead and found a tattoo artist. It was a couple of hours away from where I live, but I liked the look of them, I liked the reviews. I contacted them. It was very, very difficult. It took a lot of energy, but I was just so excited about it. And it's kind of how I tend to do things in life. The people who know me simultaneously are like shocked and surprised, and also that's their first reaction, and then their second reaction is I probably shouldn't be surprised, because I tend to not do anything. I wait, I bide my time, I'm cautious, but then once I've made up my mind, I just go for it. So you know, perhaps a month wasn't a huge amount of time, but like I was sure, I was ready. Then I went for a consult. So I drove, you know, 2 hours each way to go have a 15-minute consult with the tattoo artist, which might seem a bit crazy, but it was really, really important to me to go and to meet her and to actually talk to her and get some more information, and to know that I was going to be comfortable. And it went so well. Like I felt so comfortable. I was excited. I felt good. I felt nervous, but like leading up to it, and even on the day of, you know, I felt nervous, but it was like in a good way. I remember thinking like, oh, is this what people mean when people say like, oh yeah, you know, we all get anxious sometimes, or like, oh yeah, I get nervous sometimes. I'm like, oh, is this what they mean? As opposed to like actually having a crippling anxiety disorder. So anyway, I was nervous but still like excited and happy, and I felt really good about it. I actually went by myself. And when I got there and the artist showed me like the little mock-up she'd done, I was like, oh no, oh no. But, you know, I talked myself through it, and we just talked, and I said about it, what about it I didn't like, and we made changes, and so I thought it was just beautiful. And I was really, really happy. There was perhaps some things that, like perhaps a bit more time just to think and process would have been good, but that's still, like, I was still very happy. The experience itself was really, really good. It was really just chill. It didn't really hurt. I was surprised. I was just really relaxed. And immediately afterwards, I went and like looked in the mirror, and there was just something niggling at me that I just thought, it's not quite sitting right. And I said, is it possible to add a bit more detail on this part? And she said, sure, but it would have to be next time, because her next client had just come in. So we had gone over time, and because of that, it was then really rushed at the ending. And it was just like, okay, you know, pay for it. Here's your aftercare sheet. You know, off you go. And just in hindsight, you know, I've done a lot of thinking about all of it, of course. It's only recently that I've been figuring out that transitions are really important for me, even though it doesn't really seem like much. Like just time to look at the artwork, think about it, process it, talk about it before leaving was actually really, really necessary. But I was just kind of rushed out the door. And so I started to feel really anxious about it. I was really, really hungry afterwards. So I just like drove myself to Macca's, and I was feeling just really anxious. Like the anxiety really kicked in afterwards. And I just started to feel like the enormity of it all. Like, what have I done? I started to question whether it was even good or not. I was just in a very, very vulnerable state. And I called my friend just to sort of talk about it a bit, and like she reassured me that yes, it was good. But I can take a lot of convincing, and it's something I definitely need to like work on. It was the same when like I made my friend's dress when she tried it on, because I felt like it didn't look quite right. It didn't matter how much she was saying that she really loved it and it was beautiful, like I just felt like she was lying to me. So it's very hard for reassurance to be effective once I'm in just a very self-conscious, vulnerable state. There's still a lot that I'm still working out about the whole day because it just snowballed so fast. Got something to eat, and then I was talking to someone else, and they didn't say they didn't like it. They said that they would, like, it would grow on them, like they just, it was different to what they were expecting. And that made me really angry. And I was really upset, and my anxiety was growing and growing and growing. I didn't really realize what was going on until I was panicking, and that's quite a normal thing for me who has low, they call it like low registration, or what's it called? Alexithymia. I don't know how I'm feeling most of the time, so I knew I didn't feel good, but I didn't really know what was happening or what to do. So I'm driving, and I stop in a town on my way home to put some of the tattoo balm on, and then I break down and I enter a full panic attack, with some pretty intense negative thinking, and I don't really know what to say and what not to say, but let's say self-destructive thinking, and it was probably one of the worst like episodes I've had in a long time. And I called this friend again. If you can't tell, she's like the best, and I just said, I'm not good. She talked me through the like panic attack itself, which is probably about 15 minutes. Like, she helped talk me through it, you know, helping me to breathe. I'm sobbing the whole time because that's what a panic attack looks like for me. And so I got through that, but it wasn't better. So usually when the panic attack ends, there will be like some relief, but there wasn't for me. And it was just like the cycle just kept repeating itself. And I had to get home. I was still like an hour and a half away from home. Like, I still had to drive. So I actually ended up, I got off the phone from my friend. Like, I told her that I was going to call Lifeline, which is a crisis hotline. I have technically called them a couple of times, in the past, but it's been enough. Like the adrenaline that I would get from calling was enough to kind of break whatever cycle I was in. But this time I just called, and I spoke to this just lovely lady. She sounded like she was, a bit older. She sounded like a mum, and she was just so kind and caring and like non-judging. She was really good at just talking me through it, because that's what I said. I just need to get out of my own head. I just need to talk through this stuff. So I probably talked to her for about 20 minutes or so, and she helped me she suggested that perhaps this tattoo and the panic around it was just a catalyst, and that perhaps I was feeling overwhelmed in my life in general, and I think that's definitely been true. I really wanted to talk to you about that. I just wanted to share it because I wanted to encourage, I'm not sure, I'm bumping the camera, sorry. I'm pretty sure most of you are from the US. I'm not sure if there is a crisis line. I think there is. But definitely it's okay to make use of it. I used to have this fear around it that I wasn't in crisis enough. And if that's true for you, if you feel that at all, I just want to say that there is no such thing. I promise. If you feel like you can't deal, if you have the thought that, hey, maybe I should call for help, that means you need help. No one does it just for fun, if I'm going about my day-to-day life, I don't just think, oh, maybe I'll call and just chat, just for fun. Every time I've thought I need help, that's when I need help. It sounds simple, but yeah. So as I said earlier, I've just been in recovery after that. It's taken me, it's been a slow progress of gaining confidence, sorting through things, bringing back into solidity what my self-worth is. Because that was another thing too, was that if my tattoo was not good, which it is, but if it wasn't, then that somehow inherently lowers my value as a person. And so that's something I've been going through and working through as well, because it's so not true. I also realized that, gosh, I care so much what other people think of me. Sometimes it can just be such a harsh reminder. And not people in general per se, but my family. I care what my family thinks of me. And there's still very much a expectation of who I am from, who I was when I was younger. And it's not who I am now, but people still kind of have that expectation. So my parents know that I have a tattoo, but they haven't seen it yet. because at first I told my mum outright. I said, I'm not ready for you to see it because you won't like it, and I'm just not ready. And that was fine. She accepted that. And I'm getting to the point now where perhaps I'm just being a bit chicken, but we'll see. I'm trying to think if there's anything more I wanted to say. It's also just a really big adjustment, and I think I underestimated that. I was really excited and I was really happy and I loved the artwork, but I was not prepared for the intense weight of it after it was done. Like, this is permanent, it's done, it's on you forever now. And the feeling of something foreign, like I wanted it gone, I wanted to get rid of it. So something really helpful, a couple of people told me that it takes a bit for it to feel like it's a part of you, which makes a lot of sense, rather than just a thing that's on you. Like, you will adjust and it will slowly become a part of you and it will feel like your skin. So it's an adjustment, and I think that perhaps for me it's been exacerbated because of my autisticness and my struggles with change in general. I think a lot of anxiety. So many things that I just was not prepared for, and thinking about them now, I think, oh, perhaps I should have known better, but it's all learning, and I'm not dissuaded from wanting more tattoos in the future. I just know to prepare myself better and to not do it alone next time. Okay. Looks pretty well framed there. I'm not sure if it's going to be backwards or not. So the text says, you start to feel your eyes adjust. It's still healing, but it really doesn't hurt at all. I can just feel slight ridges where it's scabbing up a little bit, but I really, really love it. I love the detail. The fine line work is so, what's the word? I'm thinking like fragile, but that's not it. It's so delicate. So delicate. So the moon, we have a full moon, and that is mainly because I find them so beautiful, and I'm just so much more of a moon person than a sun person, like, if that makes sense. And it's kind of like ties in with the theme of darkness and your eyes adjusting. The skeleton is holding a star. So the skeleton kind of has two meanings. The first is, I feel like I have a sort of kinship, like I feel a sense of kinship with skeletons. And it's similar to like a lot of autistic people feel very alien. There's a sense of feeling alien, otherworldly, like we don't belong on this planet. We came from somewhere else. Not everyone, but some autistic people. But so it's along those lines, but rather than aliens, it's like skeletons. So it's very like otherworldly, ethereal. Also, it represents like the barest of authenticity. It's the barest a person can be. It's like the essence of a human without all of the details. There's a line, a different line from a 21 Pilots song. The song is Shy Away. The lyrics say, "Don't circle the track, break the cycle in half, and leave your skin on the floor." I realised I didn't move the microphones back down. Hopefully you could hear me okay. So the quote, as I mentioned, is from the song Oldie's Station. And the song is all about resilience and learning and growing through life. And that's a theme that I really wanted to capture in a tattoo for a long, long time. So when I heard these lyrics, not the first time I heard the song, but just after a while I was listening to it, it just kind of hit me that this was perfect. So I've just brought up the lyrics, and I won't read all of them, but I'll just read a few things that kind of stand out to me. So the first verse, there's a line, "Fear of the past and relative pain, future's coming fast, you've got nothing in the tank." And then the second verse has, "You've had your turns with relative pain, little less concerned when there's nothing in the tank. In a season of lessons learned and giving up, you learn what you can and can't take. Add some years, build some trust, you start to feel your eyes adjust. When darkness rolls on you, push on through." Later on it says, "You have it down, that old fight for survival." Also, these lyrics, "Make an oath, then make mistakes. Start a streak you're bound to break." Make an oath, then make mistakes. Start a streak you're bound to break. I really love that, because it's like an acknowledgement that you will make mistakes, you will break promises, you will break streaks, loose streaks, but live life anyway, make promises anyway, start things anyway, and live life. And through all the seasons of life, you go through hard times. You can't avoid them, but you learn from them, and you start to feel your eyes adjust. And you learn that when things are bad, it's not going to stay that way. You gain perspective. So, considering that's the whole meaning of the tattoo, it was quite an experience to have such an intense emotional time and really lose sight of this meaning whilst just having gotten the tattoo for that meaning. But it, in a way, it adds more meaning to the tattoo. And as I recover more and as I gain more and more perspective, I think I'm going to look back and honestly be weirdly grateful for it. So, I'm just tapping on the selfie stick. That was a lot of talking. It was really hard to kind of kick my brain into gear today. I hope I made some sort of sense. I hope you don't think I rambled on too long. And genuinely, if you have like listened to all of that, then like wow, and thank you. I kind of got a bit lax with the tapping for a bit there. I couldn't focus on two things at once. I hope you'll forgive me. Oh yeah, I'm wanting to possibly add some things to it. I'm just sitting on it for a bit to see how I feel, but I'm wondering if I want to add a bit more detail in the moon itself, and also perhaps add some flowers to give a bit more like overall softness and beauty to it. So I'm thinking coming out from behind the moon down here, and then maybe just a couple of tiny ones in this gap here. What do you think of that? I'm very tired. That honestly took more out of me than I thought it would. But that's okay. It's I just need to go slowly and just rest today. How about you? Do you need to rest? Because you can. You can rest. It's so necessary. It's so good. It's hard. It's hard to rest sometimes, but this is me giving you permission, okay? You can rest now. Yeah. I'm all talked out. Much love as always. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. See you later.